here's the thing that's bothering me. Knife videos on the internet. Not knife videos on the internet as such. I actually enjoy watching knife videos on the internet, but the knee-jerk reaction shows up in the martial arts community, maybe especially in the Southeast Asian martial arts community, but that might not be true, but might be my bias, because that's where I'm in, so I see it there, but I think this might be in the martial art community at large. That the moment somebody put out a knife video, it can happen with lots of videos, but especially with knife videos, all manner of online masters crawl out of the woodwork and comment. And they don't comment, I mean, commenting is good, I mean, it's social media, so you want interaction, that's good. But very often they comment in a very negative fashion, saying, oh, that wouldn't work because you should try that with somebody who has really intent and really wants to go at you, or you should try that with a live blade, or you should... Just knee-jerk reaction, need to criticize. And very often it's based upon because people have very narrow views of this art. It's actually due to a lack of understanding. Now, I'll tell you why I believe so. I'm not saying that we shouldn't be critical, because critical thinking is essential for practical martial arts. But still, you have to be open-minded enough that you try to understand what you're watching, because that's why I'm calling it a knee-jerk reaction, because very often people immediately comment without trying at least to understand what it is they are watching. I'll give you some examples of how this plays out. Example number one, Mo Morny of Silat Sufyan Beladiri, he put out a video about 6 months ago or something, and his partner was doing slow attack like this, and he was doing some cool technique with this. And I mean, Mo Morny is fantastically skilled, awesome practitioner, but actually this wasn't a self-defense technique, and the thing was, the video even said so, and he commented when he posted the video, said, this isn't really a knife defense video, this is just a concept. And immediately somebody said, you know, that won't work with somebody who's really trying to get at you, and nobody will attack like that. And the thing is that it was from a seminar, and most people who go to his seminar are people who are already martial arts instructors in their own right, and some of them some of the people that go to his seminars are really, really skilled in their martial arts already. They're just going to his seminars to get, you know, new input, and he's teaching a concept that the person at the seminar kind of has to adapt into his art and make an understanding of, because that's basically who his customers or whatever, or participants in his seminars are. And of course there are people who train his system, but a lot of them come and they are already, you know, teachers in the system, and he's teaching them a concept, like if there's a blade attack that comes from this direction, and it's not that the way it's performed in that specific video is especially realistic, but Mo Morny himself said so from the beginning. It's not especially realistic. It's done quite slow, it's done very obvious, and it's to show something you can do with an attack angle that comes in this direction. A horizontal attack. Cutting. Still, people immediately need to say, oh, that wouldn't work if he was really trying to get in. Nobody would attack like that. No, I agree with you. Nobody would attack like that. And he agrees with you, and everybody else agrees with you. So why did you need to comment? Because you didn't understand what you were watching. You didn't take the time to understand before you commented. Now, more examples like this. I have a few. Horacio Rodriguez, I believe he's the lineage holder under Pac Victor de Tours. That means he's doing Serac. A friend of mine linked a video that he had put out, and he was doing some very slow knife defense thing, And somebody said, oh, there's no speed and no flow to that, so that wouldn't work. But he was doing it really slow because the video was from a seminar where he was teaching. That means he was doing it slow and maybe a bit, you know, without flow, so that schmucks like us can understand what he's doing. That doesn't mean he's unable to do it fast. That doesn't mean he thinks that it should be always performed slowly. But when you're teaching, you kind of have to break it down, you kind of have to go slow. Sometimes you have to stop, sometimes you have to talk and explain. And still somebody, you know, immediately comments. It's like, well, you don't understand that this is a teaching context? What's wrong with you? Another video by Mole Morning came out after Christmas here, or in the early New Year, maybe January. He was doing some self-defense with a purse against a knife. Now, honestly, this is not my favorite video of Mole Morning. I'm pretty sure it's not Mole Morning's favorite video of Mole Morning. He was standing basically completely still, just using your purse as a defense against a knife. Now, this was not a realistic knife defense. I think everybody can agree with this. But that wasn't what he was showing. He was asked to show some concepts around using improvised weapons, and he actually improvised. He picked up something he had. He had a purse full of coins. Now, I think everybody will agree that a purse is not the optimal self-defense tool against a knife. But if you have nothing else, having something with an extra weight in your hand might actually be a good idea. And he was showing just some angles that, oh, you can cut, smack it like this, you can go like this, and it would probably have some effect similar to this. It wasn't a video that he put out on YouTube. It was just something that surfaced, you know, because everything that's ever put on the internet, somebody will find it and put it up. Thirdly, or fourthly, or whatever, I lost track of where I am, but another friend of mine, Theo, he put out a video of himself coaching a student through sparring. Now this is a very good method, but still somebody says, oh, this is just bullshit. And this is, what is bullshit? I mean, he didn't say that this is, you know, this is full contact, really heavy sparring. No, he said this is coaching through sparring. So that somebody thought that they weren't doing fantastic techniques or something, but the thing was, he was trying to teach the other guy, and he was showing a concept that how you can coach somebody through sparring. That's what he was doing. He wasn't trying to impress somebody with his awesome knife skills or the awesome knife skills of his student. No, he was showing a concept of teaching. I put out a video of me and one of my training buddies sparring some months ago, and somebody managed to say, you should try that with a live blade. You would bleed all over the place. Now we're using nook trainers. And I'm like, seriously? You think so? But of course we will bleed all over the place. That's why we're using training knives. If anybody, if anybody is sparring with knives with the same intensity and speed and power that we are doing, and they're using real life blades, they would bleed all over the place. Doesn't matter who they are, they would all bleed all over the place. That's why we are using training knives, because you're going for a long, you're sparring for a long while, you continue to get into lots of situations, and that's the whole idea of sparring. You're exposing yourself to dangers that wouldn't be healthy in a sparring situation, so that when you get in, so that you learn something from it, so that if you get into a real situation where knives are involved, you are more prepared. It's not because this is how to defend against a knife or with a knife or whatever. No, it's like, and the fact that you have to explain stuff like this to people, it really blows my mind. It's like, they don't even, are these people, have they never trained anything, or is their interest in martial arts maybe not that great, or I don't know, but people seem to, you know, or maybe they're just more interested in commenting than in training or understanding. So this is my urge to everybody in the martial arts community to say, please, it's okay to criticize somebody. Please, criticize me. If I put out a video and you think it's shit, tell me it's shit. But please, take the time to at least try to understand what it is you're watching. And and this doesn't just go for me, goes for everybody else. Try to understand what it is you're watching before you criticize. Now here's the thing. This is two people that I actually don't know personally, but I've become friends with them online, but they actually did it in a very nice way. They probably were critical to what they were watching. I was doing some technique, and one of them said, "Looks to me like you're doing this and that. Is that really so? And if yes, why?" Now, this is it is a form of criticism, because he's pointing out that to him it looks like that I'm doing something he thinks is stupid. But he actually at least he takes the time to ask, is that why you're doing it? And if yes, why aren't you covering this, or why aren't you thinking about that, or is this something? And actually, as it happened, I had made a video covering exactly what he was talking about just earlier, and this was just, yeah, that can happen, but sometimes it doesn't, and then this can happen. So that I had the chance to, then we had a meaningful exchange, and he showed that he had understanding of what he was commenting, and I got the chance to answer, and it was, and we had a meaningful exchange. I learned something really nice from this guy. I learned this is how you really should respond. Even if you're critical to something, just take the time, ask the question, because maybe, just maybe, the guy putting out the video already thought about the thing you want to criticize. Maybe there's a reason why, if you don't understand it, obviously, I mean, maybe if you just watch it a few times, any of these videos, watch them a few times, think a little bit, is the context maybe, because sometimes there's a video that somebody, put it out, and then somebody cut it out part of the header, and then they put it out so it doesn't look exactly like the way it's been edited before it's reposted by somebody else. So try to take time to understand the context you're watching it in, and then maybe ask a question instead of just saying, "Oh, that looks like bullshit, that would never work." Because to me that looks kind of dangerous. Is that what you're doing? And if so, why? Then you are opening up for conversation and discussion. And if the other guy is doing something stupid, maybe he will realize, because you just had meaningful exchange, and then you're actually influencing that other person to maybe change his ways, because maybe he didn't think about your point, but maybe he did, and maybe you just didn't understand it. So this is the risks, So please think about these things, because the end result might be that people don't want to put out videos because they're tired of people just saying, "Oh, that won't work, that's a bullshit, that's a bullshit." All this idiotic, and that would be a big loss for our community, because most of us have relatively small schools or clubs or whatever you want to call them, and the only way for us to share and grow is actually through sharing on places like the internet, because then we can share ideas. But at the moment, a lot of people just meet so much meaningless, stupid, unintelligent criticism that people don't want to put out. And that's a real shame. And we all lose on this. Alright? Thank you.